Okay, so let's try to solve this cholesterol level. I think I gave this as well as a work. Well, it's not really an assignment, but something that you can try and work on last time. So we'll try to solve this now. So cholesterol levels is a dietitian wishes to see if a person cholesterol level will change if the diet is supplemented by a certain mineral. 6 randomly selected subjects were pre-tested, and then they took the mineral supplement for a 6-week period. Okay? The results are shown in the table. So cholesterol level is measured in milligrams per deciliter. A deciliter, it's actually from the blood, no? It's from the blood. And then, can it be concluded that the cholesterol level has been changed at alpha 0.10? Assume the variable is approximately normally distributed. So the first step to determine whether it's what kind of test to use is to check the assumptions, right? So the first assumption is the samples must be randomly selected. Is it random? Are the samples randomly selected? Of course, the answer is yes, because it's stated in the exercise or in the problem. So 6 randomly selected subjects. So 6 randomly. Okay. And then were pre-tested, and then they took the mineral supplement. So are the samples dependent or independent? So it is dependent. Why? Because the same subjects were pre-tested and the same group of subjects took the mineral supplement for a 6-week period. So matagal, ilang 6 week? That's like more than a month and a half, right? 6-week period. So this is dependent. And then how many samples do we have? Or how many samples in each group do we have? There are 6. And then it's approximately normally distributed. So therefore, the dependent test is the assumptions for the dependent t-test have been satisfied. So we can use now the dependent t-test. Okay. Okay, so let's do the test. Okay, so ano ang first step pag mag-test tayo always? Sige, ano ang first step? We need to state the it's O and it's A. Ano ba yung it's O? It's sub O yan siya. It's sub O. Hindi siya HO na talagang HO na ho or ha, ho, ha. But it's H sub O and H sub A stands for null hypothesis. Kasi yung null kasi yan is from the German yan, no? Means 0. And then you have A, alternative hypothesis. Okay. So, can you give me in sa chat kung ano yung ating HO dito? Hindi makita yung mga chat dyan. Inerti na naman yung Zoom. Okay. So, HO. Sige, ano ang HO natin? Can you give me sa chat or you can also say that? Yes, tama si Erica. So, we need to determine the hypothesis. So, dalawa, yung HO is A. So, ano yung HO natin dito? Correct. Mu, hindi siya mu. Alam ko na mu. Hindi ko na mag-ring. M, D, mu. Ay spelling sa mu kay MU. burag mutual understanding in mu, okay? Which is equal to 0. Okay, always yan siya. Unless mayroon siyang sinabing specific difference. Okay? Pero pag sinabi lang, meron bang change, meron bang difference, wala siyang binanggit na anong number, we always assume that the difference is 0. Okay? And then, mu, what is our HA? Correct. So, mu sub D. So, don't forget the D because it means the difference. Okay? Not equal. Correct. So, we are not, hindi tayo interested kung greater or less than. What we want to know here is whether there is a difference. That's all. Okay? Maybe in practice, we actually want to see if there is an improvement. No? So improvement in the sense that it managed to reduce the level. No? So in that case, kung gusto natin malaman kung meron ba siyang, kung may effect ba siya in the sense na it manages to reduce the cholesterol level, then our HA would have been mu D less than 0. Because we do the after minus the before. Okay? So kung may less ang after sa before, then we expect this to be negative or less than 0. But dito naman sa problem, walang sinabi. So we just use the not equal. Okay? Not equal. Okay. So what is our decision rule? The decision rule is always dependent on the test. Okay? So since we are going to use the dependency test, the decision rule is, and this is the HA is not equal, so this is two-tailed. Okay? So T computed must be less than, so the T computed must be greater than the T critical. Okay? Means kung titingnan natin yung T distribution, tapos ito yung, kasi ito is alpha 0.10 and this is two-tailed, we expect that the area here must be 0.05. The area here naman is 0.05. Then we have, and since this is just not equal, it's either here, could be less, or it could be greater than. So depende no kung may kung after or before or kung ano yung sinubtract natin, tapos kung less than ba siya or greater than, our T computed or the how you say it, the T computed absolute value should be greater than T critical. Why? Because in the table, yung given na T critical doon is always positive. It actually refers to this part. No? Pero, it also refers to the other side because symmetric kasi ito symmetric siya na distribution. Meaning kung ang value dito is let us say 2.3, dito naman ay negative 2.3. Okay? So kung negative, tapos ang absolute value niya, absolute value is greater pa rin sa T critical. So ang given always sa table, so ito lang na part. No, hindi niya. Pero understood na yun that if it's two-tailed, the other side must be negative two-thirds as well. So we always use the absolute value para kung greater siya always, so it's either here or it's either here sa other side, within gyapon siya sa rejection region, then we will reject HO if the absolute value is greater than the T critical. Okay. So that's just the idea. Kaya siya may absolute value. So we need to do the compute the T statistic. Okay. So what is our computed T statistic? We need to first determine the D. Need to determine the sum of D. We need to determine the D bar, which is the mean. And then we need to determine the SD. In order to compute the SD, we need to determine the square. So the square of the sum and the sum of the squares. Okay, so those are the quantities that we need to determine. Okay, so let's start the computation for the D. So just to be consistent, we will do the after minus before. Okay. So 190 minus 210 minus 20. Okay. 170 minus 35 minus 65. 210 minus 208 plus 2. 188 minus 190 minus 2. 173 minus 172. 1. And 644 minus, 228 minus 44. Negative 6. Okay. So now that we have the difference, we're now ready to do the sum. What are the sum? So negative 20 minus 65, negative 85, negative 83, nabalik 85, negative 84, and negative 100. So negative 100 also. Tama ba? O pwede din nyo niya isam muna ito mga negative, mga negative, tapos i-minus itong positive. Okay? So the mean is 100 divided by 6. Negative 16.667. So therefore, our SD is, so formula, so n times sum square minus the square of the sum. Okay. So equal to, so n here is 6 times the sum of squares. For 89. Yeah. Right. Minus 1,000. Because we have 100. Tama? Ay, 10,000 eh. over 6 times 5. So 4890 times 6 minus 10,000 divided by 30. And then get this curve. We have 25 finally. Finally, it has happened to me. 25.39. Okay. Tama ba yung yung kung nag-try kayo answer? Tama ba yung mga compute? Erase ko na lang ito. So, we are now ready to compute the T computed. Okay. So the T computed is, of course, very simple. Always yan siya yung form. D minus the hypothesis. Diba? Or we have, ay, negative siya. Pero okay lang. Square root of 25.39. 39 ni siya. Over 6 square. Okay? So kung i-over 6 natin yan, tapos kung natin square root, tapos negative 6.67 divided by the answer. Finally, we will have negative 3.24. Okay? Parang ganyan mangyari. So ito na yung T computed. So ang next step is hanapin natin yung critical, which corresponds to alpha. Ay, mali pala. May mali pala kasi dapat di kasali yan siya sa square. Ito lang yung square root. Kasi nga, square yan siya dapat for variance. Sorry. So negative so dapat ito ay wala siyang square ito. Okay? Diretso na siya. Negative 0.64.
Sir?
Okay? Yes?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Mm.
Yung D-bar po na na-compute natin kay negative 16.67. Hindi po
Ay, 16 pala ito, no?
Apo, hindi po
Ayan.
negative 6.67.
Ayan. Mali ito, mali. 16. So, dapat ito 16. Okay. Tama pala. 25.39 divided by square root of 6. Okay. And then negative 16.67 divided by answer. So negative 1.6. Tama ba? 0.6. Okay. So we just need to look at the table. Alpha 0.10. Ano yung degree of freedom natin? That's 5. Okay? Because it's always n minus 1. Okay, so I will share to you the table. Okay, Erika, may tanong ka.
Yes, sir. Kasi yung sa slides, sir, pati sa notes ko, yung procedure po, sir, na number 1 is yung find the difference of values, di ba, sir? Tapos ang formula po ng D dun is x1 minus x2. Pero yung ginawa mo kanina, sir, kay x2 minus x1. So, ano po talaga ang gawin, sir? Anong
Pwede
i-follow
lang.
na?
Pwede lang, walang, kahit ano kasi, ano na, absolute value kasi yung gagamitin natin.
So, okay lang din po ang x1 minus x2, sir?
Yes, walang problema.
Okay, sir.
Yan ang walang itawag doon. I-make sure mo lang siya na consistent.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Kasi possible kasi na masabi siya, ang sa not equal, okay lang siya magkapalit kasi pwede mo naman sabihin na so kung unahin mo yung x1 minus x2 tapos either x2 or minus x1, then you just get the absolute. Same lang ang lalabas, no? Kasi two-tailed naman siya. Pero kung greater than, so kung sa problem sabihin niya, nag-increase ba ang after 6 weeks? So, unahin mo ang x2 minus x1 para ang reference mo is doon ka sa right. Okay? Sa right ng distribution, sa right ng graph. Pero pag sinabi naman niya, nag-decrease, then doon ka sa left. Kaya nag-decrease. Para mas madali siya. Okay? So just be consistent in terms of kung ano yung minus at saan ka na part sa graph titingin. Okay? So yun lang technique dyan. Diba, the same naman ang lalabas na T. Ang problema lang, negative lang siya. So in fact, the negative will tell you that nag-decrease siya. Na? May kaunting indication na nagsasabi na nag-decrease siya instead of nag-decrease. Okay, so let's do tutingin tayo sa T. Share ko lang. Okay, so we look at 5, two-tail, 0.10, and then 5. And that is 2.015. Okay. 2.015. So 2.015. Is it greater? The absolute value, is it greater or less than 2.05? It's not greater, right? It's less than. So therefore, our conclusion is, our decision is not to reject HO. So, ang ating conclusion pa rin dito is walang difference. Correct? So we cannot reject HO, so there is no difference. Kasi nga, it's not greater than. Tama? Yes, that's the thing. Although may mga malalaking difference, no? But since yung ano kasi, ito kasing thick is mas ano kasi siya, mas spread siya, mas mataas yung variance niya, no? So we needed a bigger T critical or T computed para ma-reject talaga siya because of the small sample. So yun yung one possible explanation na kahit mayroong malalaking mga difference na negative, ay hindi pa rin natin ma-reject yung AIDS o natin. So yun ang ating conclusion in this case. Okay? Klaro ba? Or mayroon kayong tanong? Okay, so I think okay naman. Erica, yes? Okay, so do not reject H. Okay.